All right. Well, the floor is yours, my friend.
Awesome. All right. Well, great to be back down here. And I've just been kind of just observing a lot of the posters down here and reflecting on how much a lot of this kind of revolves around a lot of just nostalgia kind of brewing on around a lot of this. And I think it all starts with a lot of Blink-182 fascination and just the punk scene in general. I have a lot of mystique value, maybe just about your history with punk and how that has influenced everything you've built with the Strange Films.
Well, man, I mean, first of all, it's like I always feel like it's kind of awkward, just to me, when like if you call me a punk, or like
awkward.
Wendy calls me a punk, or if I'm like I'm a punk, because I don't really feel like a punk because, I didn't like when I think of punk rock, I think of the culture like out in like California, like the hardcore punks that were like out there skateboarding and getting into trouble and going to a lot of shows and punk rock shows. And, there was a whole culture there that you kind of create an identity with, and I guess, though, the cool thing about that term punk is that means you just kind of find your own person and find your people that are like that. And so there's a lot of different ways that people would say that someone would be punk rock, or the punk rock genres or things like that. So I guess in my own way, it kind of always was in me a little bit because of my childhood, in my friend circles that I had in like high school, especially, and just being like fucking hooligans, dude. I think at the time and looking back, it's all innocent fun. Definitely had some.
I see the hangout spirit lives in a lot of that, lives in over a lot of that.
Definitely got into some shit, and some wild stories and, almost nearly
underlined stories.
Yeah. Wild stories and trouble with the law and things like that. But that's just growing up being a kid too, and being bored in Kingsport, Tennessee.
And I think we built a lot of fascination by like maybe a rebellious energy in the filmmaking side, and maybe that's a lot of that kind of speaking.
A lot of it just originated from trying, which was discovering music. Music is like a huge influence to just about everything in my life.
Right with you, brother.
Even to my core of my emotions.
It all lives in there.
Just like as everybody has with music, but I kind of gravitated towards that pop punk, alternative, angst rock, things like that very early on.
Right.
I discovered Blink-182 in 4th grade, I believe, with All the Small Things, like a lot of people did.
I'll never forget the first time I hearing that when I was in 1st grade. I knew that was just a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So I was out in Nashville. I'll never forget that day.
Maybe it wasn't 4th grade. Maybe I was younger than that. If you're saying 1st grade, you're not that much older. Or I'm older than you, right?
Yeah, by like a year.
Yeah. I have to look at the year. 97, I believe it came out. Or no, it wasn't 99. No, 99. So I was 7. Yeah, I was like 3rd grade, maybe. Second, yeah. Anyways, Blink easily became one of my, bands that I fell in love with. And all that music, though, kind of puts you in like a certain mood and certain like, interests, like that you gauge yourself in, and you relate to people who like that kind of stuff and like that too. So I think the best way to describe everything, what my influences stem from as far as being a punk goes, in quotes, is just feeling like angst and feeling that I wanted more and I wanted to make the best life for myself, along with create things. I have a huge imagination. Like, my imagination goes wild, and why not have fun with it and, fuck around sometimes, and just have fun. That's all it is, just hanging out and having fun. That's all this stuff. I feel like any artwork I got in this room is based off of stuff I thought that was really badass. And, everyone kind of has their own story to get to that point of themselves as well. So
yeah, absolutely. I'll say one thing was like the bad motherfucker wallet that you have from Pulp Fiction. I'll never forget.
Yeah, that was cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah,
because that's what I find, like a lot of like music genre. I've shuffled through a lot of different music genres, but I always find a lot of them kind of just point to that, just punk realization in a lot of ways. And I always love hearing your personal take on all that. So
I think it's just all about having fun and hanging out with the people you like to hang out with, and
the hangout spirit lives.
It doesn't have to all be all that bad. I mean, like, it's one of those things where shit sucks. No matter what part of your life you're looking at, if it's whether it's family or if it's hardships, like finances, anything. But there's a point where you kind of have to just be like, okay, let's set that shit aside because I like this and I gravitate towards this person because they make me feel safe and they make me feel fun or whatever. And then these two combined is just the best feeling ever. And it's just like, and I can get away from all that noise for now, and there's a loose spirit in that if you live in it for long enough and take chances with it and roll with the punches a lot. So I think that's why, like, me and you, when we have adventures, I'm kind of always like, well, fuck it, let's just go here, or let's do that, or why don't you just, like, it's just you just make it up as you go, because
open up the adventurous side. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, obviously, I'm not a crazy person or a wild person, so I have my own limitations and like my own anxieties about things, but I still think it's fun to know the limits and know experiences I've had before and wanting to recreate that again,
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. That's a wonderful take on all that. And then that kind of also brings me to, I think one of your films that you made that gives me a lot of punk aesthetic is Piglet Rising. I was kind of curious to reflect on that a little bit and what that's meant to you.
You feel like it's a punk rock kind of feeling?
Because I was kind of reflecting on movies like Halloween and like just villainous characters who kind of are just particularly slasher. I think slasher, I kind of relate a lot of that energy. I was kind of curious maybe how that pours out in your filmmaking with perhaps in general.
Well,
I'm just particularly thinking out.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to projects in general, it's again just keeping it loose. You've been on enough of my sets to know that I'm just like, all right, yeah, let's roll with it. I'm very improvisation is very welcome on my sets, especially those who are pushing the ideas to to the edge and exploring more, really diving into characters. And I think that's so cool. So what usually most ideas are good ideas. Piglet, I guess, is interesting because there's a hangout vibe in it, but it's very sinister. And I think that's kind of my approach on films at this moment. I mean, when He Comes to Kill, I did the same thing. It's like, well, I want there to be a world that everyone is just living in that's like relaxed and cool and fun and, or if it's dramatic or whatever's going on in their own personal lives, and then introduce something really fucked up to disrupt all of that. And I think that's where Piglet comes in, Stanley Elk comes in, even, I don't know, I mean, I guess maybe probably Moments in The Gifted, and just things like that happen to make it beyond their control. It's like, I guess you would call it maybe supernatural or something that's like out that you wouldn't normally see in a fucking real world. So slashers and stuff like that. But anyways, Piglet, I think, was interesting to go in the woods and kind of use that as a playground to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, you really made the most of that because you made the forest like an extraordinary epic, and I think that's what I love so much is kind of taking minimal landscape and just making an epic out of that. Really, it was just great characterization, like you say, just kind of getting lost in a hangout kind of spirit, but also this sort of like anything goes, unpredictable kind of nature to it as well. Also, kind of got me thinking about like like what the change shifted a little bit. Your video game history and like Zelda particularly, like what has all that kind of meant to you? In your creative life.
Yeah, I mean, video games was always an escape too, I mean, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time always has and always will be my favorite video game. Got the tattoo to show for.
Big time.
I don't know. I think video games are one of those things where it's like I can either escape and become something else where I can I have an objective. I have something that's like, it's a fantasy world that I can go, get crazy in. Or I can be with friends and have a good time playing video games and bond over that. So I don't know. I mean, video games, I guess if anything, how they've influenced me now would be the imagination, the world building, some characters possibly, and things like that. And now it's like, it's sad because I don't get to play video games as much as I want to. I like literally have
Mark of August song of like play video games all day is part of a dream.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I'm praying for you to have that. I really am.
That's still a dream of mine, dude. Like I not like every single day, but like, once a week kind of deal would be really cool, just to be like I ain't going anywhere today. I'm not fucking doing shit. Um, everyone's taken care of, and Augie's good, or like wherever. I'm all set to pig out, get a little tipsy, and fucking play video games all damn day today.
Because it
That's
sets
a
your
fun.
imagination free for later, man.
Yeah, I'd love to be
when you
able
get in the grind
to.
later, you'll be equipped. You know, when you play those games.
And same thing with movies, man. I just want to have a day where I don't have to do shit and I can just watch movies all day and stuff like that. I don't get those moments anymore, or at least like as much as I want to. And when I do, I'm so tired. It's like it's hard to fulfill like that kind of fantasy or that dream. It's kind of just like, yeah, I will take I won't take any of those days for granted now, but it is a dream of mine. Just be like, yeah, like what's it say? Sit, chill in my boxers, play video games all day. Yeah, it's like that'd be fun. That'd be really cool.
That's
just
my prayer, brother. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Read comic books, lay around in my boxers, surf the internet all day, and dream about being a punk rocker.
I've applied all that to being movie watching, man. Seriously, I'm
Yeah.
dreaming of being a punk rocker and all my movie watching, brother. I mean, yeah, it's those are the words right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Music and art in general. I mean, we've dived on movies before, about how they, help perceive things in life or how we relate to and our dreams with that all day. But yeah, all these other mediums like music, especially in video games, and just being a nerd in general, all those things really.
The freedom to geek out all day is a dream, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Mark, of the Mark of August, he was a huge Blink-182 fan, and that's kind of, I can't remember exactly how I met him. I feel like I can't remember if we were in same middle school, or we probably were, but we started hanging out. I think in 10th or 11th grade, and then we started messing around with music. But we were always big like Blink-182 fans, and we would geek out and listen to that and Angels and Airwaves together, and share music and stuff like that too. So it was just really natural because I think he was the one who was like, "Do you want to try to play with me?" And he had all these instruments and stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, sure." I'd go over to his house, and he would just show me. He would do something to show me how to do it, and that's kind of how he did. But we would just listen to Blink-182 and like write all the whole time.
That's awesome.
And he would just like, he would sit there and he would practice ideas that he was having along with writing and stuff like that. And then I would go home and I would do the same thing. I would just listen to music and write. I wrote a lot of shit in that high school range. Probably the most lyrics I've ever written of a lot of different songs. I remember listening to bands like Blink-182, Motion City Soundtrack, Yellow Card, I think even like All Time Low, like fucking a lot of pop punk stuff, Taking Back Sunday, just a lot of these bands that were like in the same kind of, it's what I call now like alternative rock, indie rock, not quite indie rock, but alternative rock style, that I was just now discovering at that time. I didn't really realize what alternative rock was until that frame. I kind of grew up on the radio hits in the 90s. My parents didn't show me music, so I had to discover music all on my own, and that's been an interesting journey because I'm still discovering music on my own.
It's a lifelong journey.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's really cool because I picked up the extended momentum of passion you have for Blink-182. I think is just downright mesmerizing because I can combine the passion I have for like every musician I love ever, and I'm like, I think that's on the exact same level you are with Blink-182 in your life and how you look at things. I think that's so cool, dude, and I think that really is inspiring in a lot of ways. And I think that I know throughout my time, like, and I've never really had this, and I don't really have momentum to like write a lot of poetry right now, but I had a phase where I really could. I think I somehow got that out of maybe something of the energy you must have executed with Mark of August and some of the work you were doing with music back then, because that's just so much,
It's like, it's definitely not something, I mean, if I was to ever call myself something like as a label of a musician or whatnot, that's way on the very bottom of the pole, because I don't consider myself anything like that. I do like to dabble with, I think I'm musically inclined. I think I can understand a lot of music and what makes something sound really good, what lyrics are powerful, and how emotions and people with music, but I definitely have my own taste in that, of course, but like I do have like a rhythm, and I think I know how to construct songs and stuff like that. I've made a dozen different things, musically, but that's still like such a world that I don't know anything about, like technically wise, I'm like, oh, I would love to learn an instrument to the T, so I can feel more confident about writing lyrics to or something like that. But I think Blink-182 has always been a safe space for me, and that inspires me. So it's like, like I can't help but, what is it? Life imitates art, or art imitates life. It's either way, I guess, in a sense. But
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I want to do what they're doing. That's a dream. That'd be so cool.
They're living
Not
a dream life,
literally
yeah.
like I don't want to do what they do
Well, it's like
now,
an
but
artistic kind of influence.
Yeah.
I feel like they influence your artistic life in a lot of ways.
yeah.
So it's like, well,
Didn't David Lynch make music?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He did
so
make
it's
music.
like
He was
I
just
think
some
it'd be
bits
so
on the
cool
side.
to.
Because I think I can influence like film. Because I think I found that really does influence my filmmaking for
Mhm.
big things. I think because that's honestly where all my video game energy went, was all the Rock Band, Guitar Hero games I was playing growing up, and then I think somewhere in the middle of that, I just built up just really wanting to just keep it on the real thing, and
Yeah.
I just treat that as my ultimate video game in a really weird way, kind of, but also kind of cool. I'm hoping to give that some direction in time, because that's what I noted. Like, so many genres always point to the punk genre as like, well, there's something there. It's like I end up liking the people in that scene. Like, I resonate or connect with that scene the most in a lot of ways. So having a lot of technical energy, but somehow desiring to be more loose and just not stiff about it, or you could say, it's kind of like the level it unlocks too, I find.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's funny, like trying to hear what you come up with, because it's like, not that you're a bad player or anything like that. You just have like
Kind of sloppy.
You're kind of just have like a weird, not weird, but like a folky, like very specific way of playing.
Yeah.
And it's like interesting because
It's not really a punk way, but it's like somehow I wanted to marry the punks really bad. That's what I want it to be.
It's jangly. It's just very jangly,
Yeah.
but that's not a bad thing. You can
REM
find a lot of
influence.
art in that, and I just think it's funny because I can be like, oh well, why don't you try something like this, and then you like know how to do it too. So it's just like you're like experimenting with a different sound that I think maybe you're not used to playing.
Yeah.
Either. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it literally feels kind of alien to me. It's just an energy. It just kind of flies out in the moment with it, in a lot of ways. And yeah, I suppose it's always home. And yeah, so far, I think you've easily understood like playing in a very close way in a lot of ways. And being able to like tell, it almost feels like there's a metaphorical story kind of going on. I think that's really cool. The way you write lyrics around all that. And want to tell stories. Like, I was really interested earlier when you were telling me about Slaughter Beach Dog and what they mean to you in a lot of ways. Another band I'm interested in digging in a lot more of.
Yeah, that's a band that really, I think at this age now, especially my late 20s, were very influential to me. And I think that just helped because it related to a lot more, when you're looking at like stuff like Blink-182 or any of those bands I'm listening to in high school, I'm really kind of finding a lot that's like screaming about my chasing a girl, or like getting fucked up with your friends, or hanging out, or breaking the rules or something like that. But the stuff, like something like Slaughter Beach Dog now, to me is like that's a whole different kind of emotional side and like philosophical side that kind of speaks about just perceiving things and reacting to things emotionally or silently, and like like still kind of having having fun, like in upbeat songs, but more in a story of a painting a picture kind of way. That's like just, again, like stuff that I've related to as I got older and things like that. Heartbreaks I've had in my life, getting too drunk and walking around and thinking about your life, those kind of real raw moments where you're just kind of sitting there by yourself and talking to yourself, or seeing things and seeing people and being around those people and have had like really heavy experiences with, or really fun experiences with, or just being loose and like those kind of things. And I think a lot of that now just is really, it helps me relate in a inspirational and safe place where I feel like this is how I feel. So it's like put that on versus like fucking damn it, or wasting time, or something like that.
Like
What's my age again?
It's like, this is a little more like a punk rebellious spirit. Well, this is like kind of homely. It feels very inviting.
It's very cozy music to me.
Cozy, like storytelling, like you say. It feels like watching a movie. It just like it's a very similar atmosphere.
Yeah, and it's definitely not pop punk. I know that stuff still exists and things like that, and it's thriving more than ever now. But it's and I still like listening to that. I just don't listen to it in a sense where it's like that's where I want to express my feelings. I'm more just like throwing it on as throwbacks, or just having fun with it, or showing Augie. I mean, Augie really likes Blink-182. Augie likes Hawthorne Heights and fucking A Day to Remember, and just like some random and like All American Rejects.
Your
And,
culture
yeah,
the
so
best,
it's
dude.
just like one of those things where it's like I'm spreading that knowledge and that nostalgia to my son, and when he's
amazing.
old enough, I'm sure when he's a moody teenager, he's gonna be listening to that stuff and being like, "Fuck you, Dad," you know. And I'm like, "What, dude?" So it's just interesting. It's just that stuff lives inside me, but and I remember it and feel it very well. And even if I want to scream it, I'm not gonna do that now because I'm like, I got my old man music now. So yeah,
all the time, face it out, like you say. We talk about how like there's a lot of about being creative is just passing of time and just letting a lot of time pass. And I think music's just about one of the best forms of entertainment, and movies too. I think those are both some of the most important forms of entertainment for passing time, filling up like a lot of empty space.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in movies now, it's different because I'm listening to music and looking at the scene to drive it a certain way. Now, most of the time, it's to push the scene forward, to make it kind of help pace out, even if because that's happened a lot over the years. I've shot a scene, a lot of footage of a scene that doesn't quite work the way I thought it was going to, so I have to either, like, cut a montage or extend a take that kind of just it looks maybe a little sloppy, but it looks like it's part of it because the music pushes it forward. And I think music can do that because to have the audience perceive it to they're like, okay, what's going to happen next, or I put music to make you feel something, and I've done that. I like that the most, which is just making someone feel like dreadful, like heartfelt, something emotional is happening, something quirky, something like that. So music now is like when I put it in movies, especially I like to work with people who construct the music specifically for a scene. It's easier to articulate that. But if I have to find music, it's to help kind of fill a mood or fill a pacing issue or something like that. But it'd be nice if you could, oh yeah, let me just throw in some Blink right there, or Slaughter Beach Dog for this scene, or it'd be nice if we had the power to like pick any of our favorite music of any artist and just have in the background somewhere, but that's not how filmmaking works.
Unfortunately, man, it's a dream though.
But it's cool. That's why you come up with your own, or you find some royalty-free stuff and mix that together to come up with the mood that you're looking for.
Yeah, you got that right. Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man. I was also kind of curious to shift, and this is a project I hardly even I like. This is possibly my subconscious kind of randomly, but Pandora. What's that kind of like in your subconscious these days? How does that live in your filmography?
It's one I actually forget about the most.
That's what I'm saying. I forget about it, but then it hits me. And it's like, well, that was actually cool. Like somehow I think there was a blueprint there. Maybe
it's one of the most well done films. It's the one that I won 3 awards for it that night because it was part of a competition. It's one of the best pacing, and everyone kind of had a little bit like you scored some of it. We had Josh Carrier on it. Great cast for the most part, and it's visually really, really cool. So it's one of those like really interesting movies, but I tend to forget about it because I don't know why. I just kind of
I have the same effect with it. It's like I forget it, and then I look at it. It's like, well, I love that movie. Somehow it's like maybe I want to live it too much.
It's pretty badass. I just think it's
like
I
can't sit still for it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of maybe that weird hazy 2020 fever dream.
It feels very 2020.
We did it in the beginning of 2020, like February 2020, I believe, and
maybe it just feels like that time shifted so much. Maybe we've just been kind of lost in our mentality after making that.
But I do like that movie a lot. I think it was a blueprint for how I wanted to tell stories. I remember that movie. I watched Uncut Gems right before that.
That's a similar atmosphere.
And that's what inspired me for Pandora.
I can sense that.
I knew we watched Uncut Gems, and then
I love that movie.
And then after that, we had the 2-week Twister, and it was one of those things where it was such a tight. You had 2 weeks to write, shoot, edit, film. You had to use all these certain elements in a certain line of dialogue, and that's So as soon as the clock started ticking, it's like, oh my God, I already felt anxious. Like, oh my God, the clock is ticking. We got to get this done. And I just watched Uncut Gems, and when I watched it in theaters, it was like I felt anxious the whole time. I was like, my adrenaline was going the whole time. I was like anxious. Like
it's one of the most anxious movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, and that's kind of the feeling I got after the 2-week Twister started. So I was like, I want to pace this out like Uncut Gems, because I remember that it kind of go do, you know, like scene after scene after scene that
It never
especially
stops.
towards the
It's
end.
always momentum.
Yeah, it's just going and going. So that's how I wanted to pace Pandora. And I remember, I think me and you walked around, or we went to a couple different places to go scout locations and
I
stuff like
remember
that.
that.
And
Yes.
so
It's called Young Street where we found it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the opening scene. Yeah.
yeah,
That was awesome.
so it was an interesting. That movie feels very like chaotic because it was made chaotically and it was inspired by chaos. So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
just like
literally, it's
it's
just
kind
chaos.
of it's just a chaotic film. And
There's so much chaos. It's like, yeah, it's tough to look back on that because it's like, well, that's so much. You just kind of got to move forward for after that amount of chaos.
it was a
know?
really really cool. It's a cool timestamp in the Strange Films history because that's where we got some of the best behind the scenes photos I've ever had. Had the best crew for sound and DP and everything at that time. You know, like some really great cast members. All of our buddies were a part of it. It was
Yeah.
like it was a really really great coming together and executing very well, and it's memorable. It's a really great film. But so I kind of I had some high standards after that movie, and I was chasing that kind of feeling for a long time after that. But you know, now it's like you kind of you I know how to execute scenes now, but like that was like a weird timestamp of a film, and then just to kind of get buried right after, you know, it was like
Yeah, what a surreal moment.
because I remember me and you were both like afterwards we were really hyped up and inspired to do all kinds of shit. You know,
that
we had
opened
like
the doors.
we had like different podcasts in mind. We had the strange news thing in mind. We were going to double down on content. We were going to film this and that. And we were just like, we were buzzing. And then all of a sudden, the world shut down and everything fucking fell apart. And the Lion's Den did come out of that. But all that stuff, especially after I realized I was going to be a father, was like, okay.
Everything changed. Yeah, that
Everything
was such a
changed.
turning point.
Everything
Yeah,
changed.
Everything it really shifted.
So it's a very weird timestamp that kind of, I just forget about it, I guess, just because it came and it happened so fast and disappeared so fast right after that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and that's surreal to reflect on.
Yeah, very.
Wow, yeah. When you think about Pandora and Lions, and I suppose those were the two big ones you made that year.
Yeah, that was the only two things.
Surreal, bro. Yeah, those strangers were both left a timeless mark, but yeah, but it's like somehow you just want to watch it and then just kind of live it up after. It's a little surreal.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think you got your impact across very well with those two.
Well, you know, like I said, Pandora kind of opened up a different door for me, professionally and creatively, and then the Lion's Den opened up the weird going viral thing. It's fucking viral on YouTube. It's like 2.1 million views or something like that on YouTube, and it won the best film at the first FrankenCon. And it's like one of those weird movies that it also won an award like 2 years ago over in Johnson City at the Horror Hound Festival. It's like one of those weird movies that gets still like a lot of praise and somehow a really huge online presence. And I'm like, I don't know. It's a weird movie for me. To me, it's not like that. I mean, I like the movie a lot, but it's not like it's not my top 5 strange films or anything like that. You know, I find it really interesting. I think the best part about it, obviously, is Michael Mathis and his prosthetics with being the lion. But that story also opened up the opportunity for me to figure out how to write emotionally versus just kind of beat after beat ending.
Yeah,
it was
that's a
just
good way of putting it.
yeah.
You were writing from emotions with those projects. That's
Yeah,
cool observation.
Yeah, I mean, Lion's Den, you know, the twist of the brother being him being the brother to the sister as she's running around. By the end, you realize
it's emotional. It's
yeah,
heartbreaking.
it's a really powerful moment. And I remember feeling like I was writing that script, and I just remember like I have to do something different with this. And I was like, the monster's the brother. I was like, there you go. That just punches the gut right, punches the audience in the gut right there. And I think, and that allowed me, that opened up a whole new way of storytelling, in the future. Can you hit the red button over there? Thank you.
Gotcha. This is one right here.
Yes, sir.
Just one time.
Yep, there you go. It's good.
Cool.
So, yeah, 2 really great, cool, fun movies, but I often forget about them a lot.
Yeah, because like life changed so much after those
Yeah.
two. That's insane,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah.
Wow, that's insane.
Uh-huh.
And I'm also kind of randomly reflecting on one of the first films I've ever saw in theaters growing up, which is E.T. the Extraterrestrial. I'm curious what that movie means to you and how that has influenced you.
I need to watch it again. I haven't seen it in
I've
years.
watched it twice in my life, bro, but somehow it's one of the most important movies of
Really?
my life, dude. Yeah.
It's a great movie. I watched it a lot as a kid, and I remember having a lot of great. It's always a good time watching, but there's parts of it that made me feel kind of uneasy or like.
It is strange, like a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, when the government's like getting ET and all that stuff, and like he's sick in the thing at the end there. It's just like all of it's like really heartbreaking. Yeah, and
it's like a sensitive note that movie hits. In a strange kind of way. It's awesome.
And just that whole like escaping and trying to get away at the end, all that stuff. Like I remember, it was very heartbreaking. I need to watch it again though. I've been wanting to watch it. So.
Yeah, I rewatched it. I think it was around like October or November of last year, and I was just like, dude, this movie holds up so much. Like it's just so entertaining, and like you said, kind of heartbreaking, but also very like triumphant and uplifting whenever the joyful moments happen too. Mm-hmm. Very spectacle. I mean, just the scene of them just riding around like up in the stars. Like I mean, that's some timeless scenes right there.
Oh yeah. That's Spielberg, right?
Yep, sure is.
Spielberg, his classic take.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah, Spielberg, man. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of also thinking about quite a bit today. Just making that. Just so many great movies there. That also kind of shifts. Just kind of thinking about a few guitar bands. Rolling Stones and White Stripes. What are those bands? Do those bands have a lot of significance to you?
Rolling Stones and White Stripes. Not too much. I saw. I you pointed those.
I'm literally just doing that.
You're just pointing stuff off the wall.
I just want to see how it flows. Test the water.
I actually got those as a gift from Jeff Snell when I invited him over for the podcast. Right. No, White Stripes. I like a handful of their songs.
I'm the same way. They actually hit me in a similar kind of way where I really like them, but they're like not somehow all the time.
Yeah,
they somehow it's very kind of samey.
I think Jack White is cool. Yeah. I think he's a really amazing musician, and I kind of like he's a interesting guy, I guess. But I like his solo stuff. I like I got one of his albums on record, but I like I think it's like Blunderbuss.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what it's called. But
that's Hound or something like that.
Yeah, I like that record a lot.
Me too. I like his solo stuff a lot.
Yeah.
Dead Weather. Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, he's done some fun stuff. But I'm not like a huge White Stripes or Jack White fan. I'm just kind of like,
He's one of the first guitarists I really got into. I was quite huge into that first album when I was like in 8th grade, but I kind of got to a point where, and I think a lot of bands I kind of associate, it's like, okay, I like it for like 30 minutes, but then somehow the mood gets a little stale. Like it's a little samey almost. Nothing wrong with it. But,
right. And Rolling Stones, I think I like a couple of their songs. Like what's that big one?
You got Sympathy for the Devil. There's a lot of them. Painted Black. You Can't Always Get What You Want. Give Me Shelter.
Oh, I like Gimme Shelter.
They have a lot of great. I've had phases where I'm like, dude, they have a lot of great songs. I feel like they're a lot more of a singles band to me. Overall, more than album. Yeah, they hit it awesome. I think they kind of have just a rock. There may be some phases where I'm like, am I a huge fan? I don't know if I listen to them a lot, but they definitely kind of have just the carefree rocking out spirit about them. I really like.
I like the Ramones.
I do love the Ramones.
Yeah, they're fun.
Cool,
they're definitely like punk.
Ramones are cool, man. That's where the punk scene was really going. Yeah,
they're really fun.
Ramones are awesome, dude.
But I often forget about them, so I don't like.
I'm the same way. Yeah. No, they're like it's almost like their impact is so straightforward. It's like there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
They're just to the point of what the mood is.
Yeah, it's just kind of like I'll like randomly have a day where I just like jam out to the Ramones, and then I won't listen to them for a year or something.
I'm the same. That's just how they are, though. I mean, they just get that energy across wonderfully. Same with the Clash. You listen to the Clash?
Just the singles, a couple others. London Calling? Yeah, and then there's another one I really like.
Self-titled Clash album.
Yeah.
There's one that has Rock the Kabash. I forget the album name, but
okay,
there's one that's a triple album. I forget the name of that too, but I mostly am in for London Calling and self-titled.
Yeah,
dude, those albums rule.
I need to listen to those front to back. I haven't listened to them.
Yeah, they're awesome. Same with like Sex Pistols, they're pretty cool too.
Never really listened to Sex Pistols.
Yeah, they just had one. They were a one-album wonder basically. I think they're big time. Like I like Ramones better, but I think they were kind of like a big time the style of punk. You could say they kind of were symbolic of a lot of that, and that was the band like Neil Young would write because Neil Young wasn't really a punk, but he was very much a philosopher of the punk scene in the early 70s, and and the Sex Pistols I suppose just kind of because I mean like one of the members just died from just going so strong into the punk scene in general. It was just a really intense kind of scene all around in that band. Interesting stuff though.
Yeah, dude. There's a band that I really like now. Stemmed from the band The Story So Far. It's called No Pressure, and it's like they're leaning into hardcore like West Coast punk vibes, and that's a fun band to jam out to. I like watching their live shows on YouTube because he's just like fucking mosh pitting. Everyone's jumping on the stage, jumping off the stage, and he's just singing. It's crazy. I love that energy.
Me too, dude.
I went to a lot of shows growing up. 16 up, I started going to shows by myself with my friends, and I remember always the goal was to get there first, wait in line for about 6 to 8 hours, and get up front to watch the band play. And you get in that pit so many fucking times, that energy is just so fucking crazy all around you, and you're getting kicked in the head from people crowd surfing. You're getting,
bro. I'm with you. I've spent a lot of time.
Yeah, it's just like that shit is. That's a fun culture.
That's actually what I get nostalgic for the most. And it's like at the time, it's like, wow, I didn't even process how like nostalgic that would make me in my older ages. I'm like,
but it's funny now.
The feeling. It's like a feeling that you can recreate that. That's the blessing of it.
You can, but it's funny because one of the last shows I went to, it was like 2018, I think. I went to Modern Baseball, which is I discovered them later in my life, but they're great band, and they they had like a hiatus, but they came back for like a 3-night like show in Philly. So I went to Philly, and I think we were filming, but I also went to go check out the show, and I went and checked out the show, and I did the same thing. I got there early, waited all day. I was so excited, and then I went to the front, got in the very front row, and I was like, all right, I was so excited. I watched the opening. As soon as Modern Baseball came on, I felt a goddamn tidal wave hit me from the back. The crowd went crazy. And at this point, I'm like 26 or 27. I think 26 maybe 27. I don't know. But I was old enough to be like, oh, it knocked the breath out of me. And I was like getting crushed. I was just getting crushed. And immediately, I mean, these kids' energies were like going like insane all over the place, like jumping up and down, like everywhere. And I literally, within the first song, probably within the first minute and a half, I slowly started fading all the way to the back, and I ended up getting out of the fucking pit and watching the rest of the show from the side.
That makes me so damn nostalgic.
It was like, wow, that kicked my ass, and I felt it.
You probably got bruises and shit from it.
I was like, that shit kicked my ass.
Sure.
I used to be able to hold my own on that, but I'm like, oh man, I'm too old to be doing that.
Dude, I went to a lot of like metal shows growing up. I definitely had a metalhead phase like at some point, and I would those shows. I would just get thrown right into a crowd surfing.
Did you do mosh pits?
Yeah, I did mosh pits. People would like throw me on my ass and my toes, and I'm like, all right, just get up, and keep going to the end. Yeah, it was a blast, man. Yeah, I loved it.
I was at a festival, and we were like kind of in a good position in the crowd. I mean, it was a huge crowd. And then, like, I think we were waiting on a band that we really wanted to see, but the middle band was like a heavy metal band. I'm not really a huge metalhead, so
I'm not anymore. It's influenced me, but it's not really part of me now.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's very weird.
So, anyways, he gets on the stage and they're playing, and it's like the crowd's already getting rough and stuff like that. And he gets on, and he's like, "All right, I want you to split the fucking middle, wall of death." And I was with my buddy Ryan Brown at the time. I was like, oh, we gotta go, dude. I was like, wall of death does not sound good. And then, what happened? Yeah, they split the fucking middle of the crowd, and
doing it.
Two people, it was like two armies lining up on each side, and they just charge at each other with their fists. And I was
crazy?
like, that's insane.
That's insane.
I was like, what
next
the hell?
level. Yeah, dude, I've seen those compilations on YouTube. They're like, holy moly, that's crazy.
Too much.
Yeah, that is too much. Yeah. That really is where a lot of that fizzled, man. Seriously. That's insane. People were dying over it, getting badly injured over that stuff, man.
Yeah. So, but,
chaos was fun. Chaos is perfect, man.
Yeah.
There's a line where it's just plain old perfect, and a lot of those shows just had it down like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's cool, dude. Yeah, I'm also curious about what the Joker means to you in your life, and I'm thinking about all between just mostly about Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal. How have those two influenced you?
I mean, two iconic characters. Obviously, Heath Ledger is the more iconic one in the batch, but in R.I.P. He's an amazing actor. Everything I've ever seen him in. But the infamous story of how he just lost himself into that role, and you can see it on screen. It's absolutely. I don't think anybody will ever do what he did as Joker.
That was so original.
Yeah,
it just literally died right after.
Yeah,
that is like so haunting.
That's a spirit that everyone's afraid to kind of dance around. Yeah, like I know, people when they comment on like doing Joker roles, it's just one of those things where it's like, I'll never. I just want to do my own thing, but hopefully make Heath and whoever else proud. It's
just kind of bled his life and his world into that.
Yeah,
literally.
Joaquin Phoenix, I love Joaquin Phoenix, so automatically I'm gonna love what he tries to do with his character.
It's like,
it's too
perfect for that.
And in the first movie, we're not going to talk about the second movie. The second movie,
Wow.
so
Yeah, it's a mess.
Even if he
It's
does
so
a great
messy.
job, it's a fucking mess. But he gave that character a different life than I ever thought I would ever see from the Joker, and it was just as powerful as I wanted it to be. You know, it was like really, really cool and really, just insane and emotional and very, very like just it's incredible to watch. It's
such a
simply
different. It's kind
incredible
of like
to
a
watch.
Diary of a Madman kind
Yeah.
of unraveling. You just taking all these scenes where he's just like, wow, yeah, he's more and more unstable, more of a psychopath.
And I like the grounded approach to him and that world
Yeah.
in Gotham. You know, it's not
Same.
Batman versus Joker. He's not over the top a clown. He's just like this really mentally unwell guy turning into this persona that he doesn't even realize it's a persona until kind of near the end. But
Yeah,
like,
he's a full
but like,
anarchist.
or like the branding he did with it. But like, he really dove into it. But throughout the whole unraveling throughout that movie is really cool to watch. So, I don't know. I think those characters are just cinematically crazy and inspiring to watch. You know, that's something that I
Yeah.
definitely would like to take note of for characters or filmmaking. You know, in the future.
Some of the best of all time, and I love how that movie is directed by Todd Phillips, who's generally a comedian director. He did like stuff like The Hangover. It's like he did this movie, and it's like, well, kind of a more of a serious, dry kind of take. It's kind of insane to see it
Yeah, it's a total like
shift out of comedy, like ironically with the clown and seeing comedian elements. It's like, yeah, that's like a very like it's like about as serious as Taxi Driver, Taxi Driver, '70s Martin Scorsese era.
I think he was a producer on it. I think he he had definitely had a heavy influence on
Scorsese
it. I mean,
definitely
especially
did.
with
Absolutely, it's very
King of Comedy. Yeah,
big time. I think that and Taxi
it's
Driver.
it's
big
literally
time.
Taxi Driver and King of Comedy combined.
It literally
with
is.
Joker as the
And it
main
actually
character.
works
Yeah,
because I think Joaquin Phoenix's portrayals. Because I've had to defend it. Some people have like kind of criticized it. But I'm like, well, I still think Joaquin Phoenix just makes that so incredible.
oh yeah,
Because it's like he's original. I think again the comedian perspective on it, it's original. And then getting Joaquin Phoenix in this is just chaos unraveling. He's one of the best actors to convey chaos, I think. And this is a moment where he can just really shine into psychopathy.
yeah.
Like, every scene is just more and more insane. I think one of the most insanely tragic moments is like in that house scene whenever he just like literally, I think he like bites off someone's body part or something.
Oh.
The other guy's just watching, just like, why? Kinda, you know, it's like, oh man.
Yeah.
That whole movie's insane. It's just
Yeah.
moments like that that are just they're actually shocking. They're actually like really insane. They get in your head and disturb you.
Yeah, it's like when he's all painted up and the guy comes in and he's or the two guys from his work comes in and he like fucking kills one of them and the other dude's trying to get out the door and he's like, "I'm sorry, Arthur," and he's like, it's like he scares him and like it lets him leave and stuff. But one of that whole thing is just like it's shocking because it's like it's such a real like really raw moment and you're just like, wow, it's just like fucked up. It's so fucked up. Like imagine seeing that, you're like, oh my god, like what the hell. So yeah, it's very grounded in that aspect and I really just love how it's done. It's such a well done movie. I've seen it a good amount of times and I love every viewing. It's like kind of a comfort inspiring movie to me.
Agreed. Fully agree with that. No, I absolutely love it. And I think like again, just being a huge fan of like the Taxi Driver King of Comedy formula, I think that perfectly just made that modernized. And I think that perfectly brought that to kind of like the comic book genre, which has just always been, I don't know, I've maybe always been itching to see that kind of shade unraveled. And I thought it was done to mastery.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a great one. Have you seen the new Frankenstein yet?
No, I haven't yet.
What's your feelings about Frankenstein and overall?
I like Frankenstein. The original movie is awesome.
Dude, I agree. I grew up loving that. Yeah, I would read the book some and just.
I never read the book. I like the
from the
character.
movie.
I like the original movie. I wish I could tell more about it. I really haven't seen that many like interpretations of Frankenstein, but I am excited to see the new one that's kind of planned for this
by far my
Thanksgiving
favorite.
break.
It's definitely worth it. It's Guillermo del Toro. He's just a great he's like a good fantasy director because he's very down to earth and just a very gloomy, dark kind of fantasy director. But he always lands at the mastery. I feel like. Have you seen anything he's done? Pinocchio,
yeah,
Shape of Water, Pan's Labyrinth.
No, I never saw Pan's
See
Labyrinth.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah, I like Pacific Rim.
he did that
I've
one.
seen Hellboy. Also,
Yeah, he also did that. That's right. Yeah, he's a good one, man. He's a good one to dive into. He's kind of got a fantasy like you can tell he's very influenced by a lot of Lord of the Rings elements, but he just kind of makes it like in the dark, just fantasy, like just kind of more like down to earth kind of storytelling in a lot of ways. And he's a good one to get into. And I think Frankenstein actually seems like a great entry point because I'll say the movie's not really that scary. It's more of like a kind of melancholic sort of take on the whole formula, kind of like a drama, kind of observational piece. But it's very epic in scope. Just a great character piece all around.
Yeah,
I think you'll really get a lot out of that. And then also, didn't you recently rewatch the some Halloween movies? Have you watched? Or did you watch the first Halloween?
Yeah, I mean, I always watch the original Halloween on Halloween night.
Man,
yeah.
I did that. I did that. And that's just one of the best of all time. I hadn't seen that. I don't even go back and rewatch it that often. I realize, but I'm like, when I do, it's like, wow, that it kind of feels like that Dario Argento, the Suspiria kind of like way, where it's just like an original slasher. I mean, just really groundbreaking indie fililmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of some shots you were doing for TV Land, for the doctor scene especially. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I mean, it's a masterpiece in its own subtle way. It's not a very aggressive like movie. I don't even think there's any blood in it. There's there's like
it's a quietly haunting kind of
slasher. And it's just you can do a lot with a little in that movie, and it paved the way for all kinds of things and sequel. It paved the way for a new generation of filmmakers and the way to tell horror and stuff like that. So, but I watch it every Halloween. It's tradition. I don't think I don't even really watch it at all throughout the year. I just watch it on Halloween.
I'm kind of the same with it. It's like it's a little strange because there's a lot of Halloween or a lot of holiday movies. I'll watch it. Like It's a Wonderful Life. I kind of just don't mind watching that any time of the year.
I always want to, but I can't. I always want to, but I save myself to do it.
Sometimes that movie hits me at like random times of the year, and it's like, well, I guess I just want every day to feel like that in a sense.
Oh
yeah, that's my ultimate prayer to the world.
I think it's my if I was absolutely down on everything and I need something to remind myself it's going to be okay, that I would revisit that movie, because that movie speaks to me on a totally on a soul level. So
it's life changing. I feel like I look back like, wow, that movie really has transcended me from bad moods. I'm like, dude, I think that movie really has kind of like showed me a way.
I've been real sad before, and just put it on in the middle of the night just to have something to hold on to.
Dude. Yeah. Can you believe it was actually polarizing upon initial release? Like, it actually took some time to generate that level of like, status. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I think it was just like a very like almost just like that's almost just so like free spiritedly feel good in a lot of ways. I think it was like actually like a big note for a lot of people. I think at the timing it was just after World War II and all, so I think that was like a big note of triumphant optimism to be expressing. And it's honestly just really dark and gritty how it gets there in a lot of ways. It's just it's a real deal, man.
Yeah, it's a dark movie. I mean, especially because he's trying to kill himself. That's the whole reason why they're going through this whole story of his life. It's just he's about to try to kill himself, and they're like, oh well, who's George Bailey? And then that's why the first half of the movie, it's like even kind of more than half the movie is just like leading up to that moment.
Yeah,
and then the last like hour of the movie is him jumping and Clarence actually going down to save him, and then showing him the world what it would be like without. And it's just like, so it's like such a man. It's really, really powerful. And I cry every time I watch it. I cry every time.
You have to. Yeah, seriously, it's impossible not to. It stirs up the soul in that level.
Yeah, at the end when he's at the house and everyone's coming with the money and stuff like that, and his brother's like, to George Bailey, the richest man in town, and I was like, oh, that gets me. That gets me every time, dude. I can't wait to watch it. Oh.
All right. Well, you're about the right time of the year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's my time, dude. It's my cozy season time.
What I'm talking about. Oh yeah, dude.
I'm about to watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I rewatched that one soon. That's
Dutch. Have you ever seen that?
I've not even heard of that.
Fuck, man, it's a great movie. Dutch. 1990. I want to say 3.
I'm gonna add that on my list right now.
It's a perfect Thanksgiving movie. Dutch.
Noted.
It's got the guy in Modern Family in it, I believe. I can never remember his name, but Dutch. It's a great and then right after Thanksgiving, I'm starting on everything. I got Scrooged. I gotta
rewatch Scrooged.
Mixed Nuts. I got The Grinch. I got Elf. I got Christmas with the Cranks. I got Christmas Story. It's One for Life. I mean, I've got them all, man. I'm ready.
You're right on the wavelength, brother. That's awesome, dude. Oh, man, there's so much good stuff there, man.
I love Christmas, man.
Big time of the year to just really deep dive into your hobbies and what you love most. So, in that case, when a lot of movies sure do shine for that time of the year. So
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
absolutely.
From the straightforward Christmas films to the offbeat ones. Like Die Hard is considered that, even though it's a full action.
Yeah,
movie.
I don't know. I need to rewatch Die Hard. I haven't seen it in like
same. I built a lot of years. Yeah, because I always thought it was like pretty good, not great. But
yeah, I thought the same thing.
Kind of hit me with age. I was like, oh no, that actually is a really cool idea. And I think I just love Bruce Willis more with age. I think it kind of has this really cool, almost like a fatherly kind of demeanor about it. I really like in a way. Maybe especially think about Pulp Fiction, how much I love him in Pulp Fiction. But I think Die Hard's really cool because it's just like literally going through different floors. I was thinking about the scene where he's like stepping on a bunch of glass, like literally trying to get out. It's well choreographed. It's a pretty insane kind of concept all around. Also kind of builds up to just looking at Taxi Driver. I think I want to just maybe expand that to just Martin Scorsese in general. I was curious what his filmography means to you in right now.
Probably the most one of the most influential directors in terms of writing and characters, and keeping things grounded to the best I can. I mean, I know he can be above ground, like I know he can kind of range on all kinds of different genres or levels of things, but characters and writing, it's like I really think I try to. His movies
It's all
are
about
awesome.
characters, yeah.
I mean, his movies are so like you just get so lost in them, and they're so and they're so well like. There's a lot of dialogue and everything, and it just flows, man. You just really lose yourself in like these moments with these characters, and
You got that right.
so I really love watching his movies, especially when I see a new Scorsese film for the first time, like I haven't seen before, and even like
Uniquely exciting.
when I watched let's see. What's the newest one he did?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes, Killers of the Flower Moon.
It's one of my favorites he's made.
Yeah, I watched Casino maybe like 2 months before that, and Casino was like,
That one hits so heavy.
what year was Casino?
95.
95, and Casino's crazy. It's like
That's probably the craziest thing he made, actually.
yeah,
At least most disturbing, I think.
and it's very long. It's like I remember
like an
being
hour
45 minutes into that, and I was like, what the hell?
It's just like narration overload. Yeah,
it was kind of a lot,
It
but
kind of challenged me the first time. I love it dearly. I like kind of more than ever now.
Yeah.
But I think it's just because it's so much energy and it's like, golly, there's so much narration. There's so much going on.
Yeah,
Here that
but
it's just like, what does all this mean? Almost.
it was a great watch. But then
It's a
when I
lot.
watched Killers of the Flower Moon like 2 months later, and that was like his newest one, it still brings that same kind of feeling and momentum, and
Stunning.
it's a stunning movie. I mean, you can't deny the guy. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
So
I just thought it was cool to see him take on like that level of landscape value.
Yeah.
With that movie. It's just like a huge kind of the small town, sort of the Western atmosphere. It's like he never really done anything like that before. I think the way he brought that alive was amazing. And fun fact, did you know that Paul Thomas Anderson actually low-key kind of helped out on writing the screenplay for
Oh,
that?
really?
That was kind of
That's cool.
Yeah,
I can kind of see that
It
now.
reminds me a lot of There Will Be Blood. I can really sense that too. But I think that's really cool though. And yeah, I agree. I can't stop just thinking about the characterization. A lot of disturbing characterization going on there, especially like De Niro and DiCaprio.
Yeah.
I think that's a real disturbing kind of close-up
Yeah.
take on, in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So The Departed, still one of my all-time favorites.
It's one of the best movies of all time. Yeah,
I need to rewatch Taxi Driver. I still love King of Comedy.
Yeah, those are some of the best. Those are two. Some of the best, like, very disturbing kind of portrayals in their own kind of ways.
Yeah, we've talked about King of Comedy quite a bit on the podcast, but that movie still, like, I watch. I'm like,
it messes me up because it's so cringy. Yeah, it's like one of the most awkward. Like, oh man, and the movie. I think it's a lot like the Uncut Gems feeling, where it's like, oh, it's a lot, but somehow it's like the movie kind of forces you to relate to it in a way, or it's like because it makes it kind of everyman, but also just the most uncomfortably anxiety-inducing person possible. But it's like, wow, it makes it relatable.
Yeah,
it's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's actually the scariest movies, I feel like, in a lot of ways. It's like, well, that's gonna haunt everything.
Yeah, and After Hours.
Oh man,
yeah, that's a fun one, but it's wild
that
too.
Was such a rush. Yeah, I kind of consider that to be the most almost like the most youthful energy he's ever conveyed, because he collaborated with a college student to writing that, because I think he just really wanted youthful energy to live in After Hours.
Okay.
And it gets at a cross where it's just like, kind of a naive guy just getting lost into this odyssey out in a big city and just meeting a bunch of strange characters. Literally, it's really weird. Like all throughout, like it gets more uncomfortable as it goes.
Yeah,
and just insanity, full blown insanity. Yeah, because apparently Scorsese was really wanting to make The Last Temptation of Christ through all the 80s when he made King of Comedy, when he made After Hours, and he was apparently really pissed off that he couldn't get straight to that one. So it's like, he's like, well, damn, he just kind of had to unleash, like, I guess more of a punk aesthetic, because kind of realizing how much I think Scorsese low-key does influence a lot of punk aesthetic in a lot of ways. Like, he has a lot of that looming over, like, I think really in Taxi Driver onward. Like, there's a bit, you compare it to like movies like The Godfather, where it feels like there's just following a little bit more of a structure to it. I think Scorsese and Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, like, they just kind of want to say fuck it all and just really just tell it as it is. Like, they want to be gritty in a really original kind of way. They don't want to hold back at all or have any pretense about it. They just be loose as possible in the hangout spirit. It's like there's no plot to it. It's just let's just get close up to a frightening extent of who these people just really are in a lot of ways. And Scorsese, I think, just has an original way of doing that. He makes it personal and inviting to the world. The way he makes his movies. Much like I love Quentin Tarantino. It's like they just make it for the world, really, and they do it really successfully and really well.
Yeah, Tarantino's another like no fucks given.
No fucks given. He's kind of a punk, man. He just goes for it.
And I love how like he's wild to even watch doing interviews and talking in general.
He's like a manic genius.
Yeah,
dude.
he's fucking
He's crazy. He's always crazy. He's always
like,
going
yeah, I'm
crazy.
like,
He's
geez.
always going insane.
I'm like, I don't think I would like to be around him in person.
No, he wouldn't be that pleasant. That's
Yeah.
exactly. No, I kind of
Yeah.
realize it's like, man, look at the personalities. It's like, I know he's like really close friends with Paul Thomas Anderson. You probably want to be around a person like Paul Thomas Anderson, where Tarantino just has this inviting way of making his movies. It's like,
Yeah.
just I think he's the guy. Just listen to this guy geek out. But yeah, I've actually even heard stories of like you get those two in a theater. It's like, wow, yeah, you almost want to back away by default because
I
it's so
bet.
insane.
Yeah, I bet.
Get Paul Thomas Anderson and Tarantino in the same room. I think they're like really like they're really close, or really competitive too.
That's
like
crazy.
they're an extreme.
Huh.
They're insane to be around. A
Yeah.
little too insane.
Yeah. So yeah, those are all some very influential directors: PTA, Quentin, Tarantino, and Scorsese, and
Ooh, you got that right.
yeah, Nolan, of course.
Man, big time. Those just live on forever, really.
Mhm.
Yeah, what
And
they've
then we were
done.
talking about earlier, Billy Wilder.
Yeah, Billy Wilder.
Mhm.
Man, Billy Wilder is such a huge.
He's, I
influence.
think, not, I wouldn't say like very punk, but he's very much more like kind of melancholy in a sense, or not.
He's got melancholy. He gets to the
some.
spirit.
He gets to the spirit in a lot of interesting ways. He'll go different genres to get to that.
He's kind of dark. He's a darkness about
He's
him.
a-
I
yeah,
think
he's-
you could say.
'cause-
He's kind of gloomy.
Because Sunset's very
It's
dark.
very dark.
The
Rewatched it
fucking
yesterday. I was like, man, uncomfortable.
yeah.
all throughout.
What's the other one? I'm thinking double
Double
indemnity.
Indemnity.
That's a dark one. You know.
Yeah, 'cause I feel like it kind of foreshadows a bit of that Breaking Bad formula, where it's just like you're just watching these steps of just gradually going insane over a criminal
Yeah.
kind of way.
Ace in the Hole is an interesting one.
That's a weird
that was
movie.
that was an interesting one. I
Oh,
I
man.
liked it, but it was a little too stiff for me too, or a little too like I don't know. It was a little.
It's really menacing. There's not really like a sympathetic character in all of that. It kind of just
Yeah.
makes everyone look bad. in
And
a
by
weird
the
way.
end of it, he's even like fuck.
Yeah, he's fucked.
Yeah, he's even like I fucked up.
I think I got a lot of attachment because I grew up watching a Simpsons episode that actually was spoofing that movie.
Oh,
so I
really?
think I went into that movie. It's like, oh man, I like knew that plot formula.
Oh,
And
wow,
the whole
okay.
throwing a carnable basically, just kind of just for shits. I don't know. It's kind
Yeah.
of it's kind of like a
I
want
want to revisit that one down the road.
I think I just like how dark it is for its
Mhm.
time. Like that's actually extremely messed up.
Yeah, and then
Like some like it hot. It's like I feel like he kind of like lightened up his mood. I feel like we just talked about was a lot of his darker shades. He started off very dark, but then it's like Some Like It Hot in The Apartment are very much redemptive type of movies by contrast. Some Like It Hot's just the perfect feel good kind of comedy. And we were even kind of talking earlier about like the plot of White Chicks and how similar that was kind of hitting me a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, Some Like It Hot's perfect comedy. Then The Apartment's just the perfect comedy drama. Again, just a guy kind of standing up, learning to stand up for himself in the story. Like oh yeah, and he picks up on something he really needs to know. It's like the boss is like just taking over his living space literally. And
Yeah.
in the end, it's like he just says fuck all that, and he
Yeah.
goes for what his heart wants.
Yeah, that's another. It became a comfort movie for me with The Apartment. Man, it's like it's so good. It's such a. It's kind of a beautiful movie at the end of it. Like you said, he stands up for himself. He also, the love interest that it all comes together at the end. In a moment of like, well, I don't know what comes next, but I'm okay.
Yeah, literally, it's all
Yeah.
good in the end. Yeah, like
Yeah.
in spirit, he is all good based off of what he went through, and that's like everything a person like that could ask for. And that's a perfect Jack Lemmon character right there. Like, that's just amazing. Yeah, I love seeing all that kind of shuffle through. And then I was also kind of just curious, what is Sydney's birthday party and Happy Mother's Day? What does that era mean to you these days?
What else we got on this wall, dude? I know
I'm just
you're.
going through it all. I really am. That's my goal.
I know. Okay.
I just want to
Sydney's-
see how it flows.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I know.
Sydney's birthday party and Happy Mother's Day. They are fun movies. I really like the narrative aspect in it all, as far as did Cindy's in beginning of 2018, did Happy Mother's Day kind of late 2019, and creating a journey with that, and taking those characters and literally say, let's make a sequel 10 years later, and that was pretty cool. So, but by the time I did Happy Mother's Day, I was already a lot more, I guess, like looking at movies again differently. I was exposed to a lot more movies. Like I Met You and
Yeah, I was right in that time frame.
and I did a lot between that time frame too. So I learned a lot. So Happy Mother's Day feels very much more like a progression, and it was much more inspired by like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which kind of lent me like a nice blueprint to follow, in a sense, and so it's a cool movie. I really like I like Happy Mother's Day the most out of it, and that won Best Actress award for Marianne Fisher. And I like how we brought Marianne back for The Gifted.
I love
It's
that.
we even continue that story and the chauffeur and all that stuff.
Oh man,
you know,
that's that party scene right when shit hits the fan.
yeah. So we continue all that, and I think that's really cool to show that Strange Films is there's some sort of universe going on there, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are cool movies for me.
Absolutely. And what does Raven mean to you now? I haven't seen that in a long
love
time.
that movie still.
That one. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to get your take on a lot of that. Oh, damn it.
Oh, one more time.
Should I hit that just once?
Yep. All right. Raven is like,
You made that 2021, right?
yes, coming back basically. I was like, I think Lions Den was the last thing I did,
Yeah.
and Raven was like, again, it felt like a progression. I kind of just was like, you know what, I'm gonna do a lot of long takes in this movie. I feel like I had some lighting stuff I was trying out. We had an amazing cast. First time I met Ray Bolden, Eileen, you know, well, not the first time I met Eileen, but seeing her really come out as an actress. Me and Frank worked really well together. It was what a cool movie, and I watch it now, and I'm like, that movie's it's well done. Like to me, it's one of my well done movies, and it's like the first film I got to like 26 minutes long, and I was like, this feels like a really cool narrative.
That's a big blueprint, I think, for your 2020 filmography.
Yeah,
so quite a contrast, I think, to Lions Den and Pandora.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a different kind of approach to the character. There's definitely a much more emotional part to it, because like it opens up as like the horror part to it, and then 5 minutes go by, and then we see Ray Bolden, and he's like coughing up blood, and he has a diagnosis that he's all fucked up, and he's on his deathbed basically, and Eileen's taking care of him, and you kind of just see him, you kind of throw a pity party for him for a little bit, but then he gets triggered by these girls that come next door, and then you start seeing the psycho kind of unraveling, and it's just one of those things where it's like, if you know you're going to die, or this guy knows he's going to die, why not try to go out as doing it the way he wants to do? And ends up, it's really dark, dude. By the end of it, the movie, it's so dark. Yeah. And but that's a great movie, man. I love that movie a lot.
Yeah,
we won some awards for that movie too.
That was a very interesting phase right there. That's like going to look back on and take in more. I love that.
Yeah, so
that's awesome, man. What about comic books? How have comic books influenced your life?
More just as a hobby, I think. Entertainment. I really love the idea of comic books, the fantasy of it, like the worlds. I love Marvel. I love DC. Spider-Man and Batman are my two favorite heroes. I like the crossover events. I like the universe, all those things I think have inspired me, or at least made me feel nerdy about. It's something that as a comfort, I used to really like reading graphic novels, which is just a combination of the comics and stuff like that. Yeah, I like comics. If I had more time and dedication to them, I'd like to read them. I'd like to read more to them. But there's a time like where I would like get a new comic book, and I was like, okay, every week I'll go and pick up the new issue. And I did that for like a few weeks or a few issues, and then you just get lost behind. And then all of a sudden there's like 12 new fucking books and a crossover book that came out with it. It's just like it's really hard to keep up with unless you're like really into the passions. That's why I like to read like volumes or condominiums, or a graphic novel. It's got everything in there or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
it really is a lot in a lot of ways. Absolutely. And I really like kind of related a lot of my film addiction, I think, to like how a lot of comic books like kind of are. I feel like there's an addictive quality to just kind of getting lost in just the dialogue and just the imagery around a lot of it, because I think with movies, like I think I've learned to do that more recently. I get obsessed with like just looking at freeze frames, like what does images kind of say about the whole movie in a lot of ways, and as well as the moments of dialogue around that scene. And I feel like maybe a lot of that can relate well to how a comic book fan would perceive things.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool in general. Let's see what else.
Oh, that guy called me back.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm not answering now.
Oh. Wasted time.
Oh, I wasted an hour of our day earlier.
Oh, damn.
That would have been kind of cool to have, though. I still would have liked to bring all those home, but fuck it, dude. That's universe saying it's okay. Don't worry about it.
That's what I'm saying.
So, but yeah, is there anything else on the wall that you want to touch base before we wrap this
up?
There's
a few I want to talk about, but I don't know what that is exactly.
Which one?
I need to open up the imagery. Yeah, what is that?
That's a Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. What does that mean to you?
Just kind of like Halloween. I don't really watch them until Halloween season. I would say Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street are my rankings
Yeah.
as far as those three go.
Right on, man. Because I'll tell you, man, I know it's a bit of a shame, but I've always seen like the first one about of all of those.
Yeah, that's
series.
like the.
That was the most iconic of all
Yeah,
time.
you got to watch
them
them all, man.
really do.
Yeah, they're fun.
I have to catch up on
4,
those.
5, and 6 are my favorites.
Hell yeah, bro, that's cool, man. 'Cause I've always seen the first Friday. I gotta say, I really like how well directed the first Friday the 13th is. I think that one seems like it gets a lot of criticism in the series, but
Yeah.
I like the simplicity of it. I like it's just a good camp out
Yeah.
atmosphere to the max. I thought. Yeah, then like Halloween, I'm really built a lot of interest on Seasons of the Witch. That's like,
Oh yeah, I still can't believe you haven't watched
isn't that
that.
crazy, man? I know.
You
I
need
got
to sit down and watch it.
I got a
It's so
surprise
good.
ahead of that, dude. I got
Yeah.
a surprise with that one. I can't wait.
It's
bro.
fantastic, dude.
I can't
It's so
wait.
good.
Super cool, man. And then Nightmare on Elm Street. I love that first movie. I got to go through the series, man. I love that first movie. I think I saw like Freddy versus Jason one time outside, but
That
we were
movie
watching
is
outside.
punk rock.
I didn't finish it. 'Cause it was like it kind of made us too nervous watching that outside at night. At
Oh,
the time.
yeah.
We were like 10 years old. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
That movie is punk rock. It is
Yeah.
so good. I mean, it's fun. It's not like a good movie, but it's just fun. It's really me and Wendy rewatched it year before last, or last year I should say. I'm sorry, last year, and it was such a fun watch. I love how campy it is, and you're bringing two iconic characters together, and they do it well. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. That's awesome. And it looks like you got Predator as well.
Yeah,
up there.
yeah.
Dude, what's your?
I've only seen the original Predator once.
Man, I'm the same actually. I watched that. I loved it.
I loved it.
I always thought it was one of the best action movies. And I watched the second one, and it's been holding up well in my imagination.
I loved the first one, and then
It's a
I watched the
weird one.
second one not too long after,
It's a
and
weird
I
movie.
didn't really like the second one, but I thought it was I don't know. I gotta watch.
It's the ultimate like take it from the jungle, bring it to the city kind of.
Yeah, but I didn't know. It was kind of offbeat.
It is off.
Yeah.
And it's a weird movie. I think I didn't really like it growing up, but I like it better when I look back. Just some of those action scenes, some of those killing scenes are actually kind of frightening in a way.
Yeah.
I kind of like the horror element behind it. I don't know if it's a great movie, really, like
Yeah.
the first one, but it's the same director of Die Hard, actually. John McTiernan, I think is his name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think there's something there I really like, a late 80s action kind of aesthetic value about his directing I really like. And yeah, Predator's a good one because I grew up, actually, this is one of the most offbeat movies to be obsessed with, but Alien versus Predator. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, I like that movie.
Dude, I do too, man.
Yeah, I like that movie.
I was obsessed
A lot of
with
people give it hate. I
don't
think the
get
first
it.
one's good.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I saw it in theaters and I was obsessed with it.
Yeah,
the
I
first
was
time
too.
around.
I bought it on DVD. I've watched it probably a dozen times.
I'm the same.
I
remember
loved it.
every single day, like from school, I was counting down the days till I could get that on DVD, just because I was strangely obsessed with it. It's like
Yeah.
kind of claustrophobic sort of cabin
Yeah.
sort of atmosphere. I guess it's similar to how the movie.
And
Alien
they're
is,
like,
but
and
it's- yeah.
and the kills are pretty. It's not like gruesome because it's like PG-13, I think, but it's still
Yeah.
it's pretty fucking scary. Like to think like those things are happening in there.
There were some good jump scares I felt like and all that. Like I said, is it a great movie? I don't know if I call it that. But
Yeah.
it kind of has.
It's
a
just
spot.
a fun.
I have
It's a
fun with
fun
it.
movie.
It
Yeah,
is a fun movie,
I agree.
yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Right on, man. Yeah, it was like 2004 when it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched it not too long ago, a few years ago. I was like, this is still fun to
Yeah,
me.
I might have to rewatch it. Yeah, because it lives on in the imagination.
Yeah, absolutely.
It opened the door for both Alien and Predator. I didn't really know either one going into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really cool. Trying to figure out what that cowboy is up there.
That's just a random art print I found at a flea market.
Cool. Well, I guess
Yeah,
that
that was pretty cool.
Open the door of like what the Western genre means to you and all this.
Westerns are still an interesting territory. I don't really know much about. I mean, like I've seen The Good, Bad, the Ugly. I've seen obviously like modern Western-esque
Like
films,
No
like
Country for Old Men.
yeah, those two.
I think neo-westerns are the best.
Even like Gran Torino is kind of a
yeah.
interesting urban western. I feel like,
Yeah, exactly.
and I like all that. I gravitate towards more towards that than I do like traditional westerns. But I will say,
Exactly.
Tombstone is a really cool movie. I love that movie.
I'm going to rewatch that. I really like that. It's just a fun movie. That's a really good cast.
Yeah, great
That
cast.
is a
Yeah,
blast
some
of a movie.
iconic stuff in that too. So
Yeah, there's a dated end. Yeah, there's that. I guess you could say like kind of like the John Wayne era westerns. I think there's a lot. Like there were a few great movies in there, but usually I like it when it's best when it's exploring kind of like more the Scorsese way of like a lonely kind of loner out in the western. I think that works. But ultimately, dude, the neo westerns are by far the best way. I think.
Yeah.
And then Clint Eastwood even directed a great one called Unforgiven. That I strongly
I
recommend.
need to see that.
Early '90s. I mean, just really gritty. I mean, really intense. Just very philosophical about just what it is to be a murderer. Basically,
Wow.
It's a really fascinating movie.
Okay.
And really intense, really insane. Morgan Freeman's great in it. Yeah, Gene Hackman's disturbing villain. Clint Eastwood's a great character in it.
Okay.
He's like trying to get away, live a simple life, but he just literally like just being a killer. It always has to. It always has to
can't
resurface.
get out of it.
He has to
Yeah.
resurface. Yeah.
Wow.
It's intense. It's a really insane movie.
Okay.
Recommended. Different than anything else Eastwood's ever made since, really.
Yeah.
It's just an original kind of western.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, but yeah, I love all that. What's the Vault Mask What is that?
That's the creators of the Stanley Elk mask.
Oh, that's super cool. Man.
Yeah.
It almost made me want to open the doors just thinking about Jim Carrey's The Mask because that's such a low-key influence on all this.
I watched that movie a lot
Dude,
growing up.
Me too. That was
Love
literally the first
movie.
DVD I ever owned. That was my introduction. I just remember thinking the concept of just skipping chapters and just
Oh, yeah.
that was the movie I took all that out on.
It's still a fun movie.
It's
Really,
a
really
blast,
good.
Dude. I love Jim Carrey on that, you know. And that movie just, I think a lot of the scenes I think about a lot are just the scenes where he's just in the mask dancing outside in general, just getting that whole mob of people just kind of doing the cha-cha with them quite literally.
That movie was like...
It's so fun. I feel like it couldn't be made now. It seems very distinctively 90s.
It feels very 90s to me, and it feels very nostalgic because I remember watching it. I remember watching a lot of it when I was young, and I think I watched it. I want to say I watched it at Frank's growing up, also at certain times in Philly, and I think it's set in New York or something like that, and it feels very reminds me of like a city nightlife kind of urban like
big time
atmosphere, which is something I'm used to, and I like that a lot too. So. And Jim Carrey, he's just great, and he's like I like everything before he puts the mask on to everything after. It's great.
It's so fun, dude. Yeah, 'cause I think it was just based off a comic book series or something like that.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's like by far the best version of the story. I never really did that horrible Son of a Mask movie. Did you ever see that?
No, I've never seen it, but I think
I
think Wendy likes that movie a lot.
Oh, it's like there's some entertainment value to it. But it's just wow. It's a weird take on the story.
I want to say James Gunn was a part of that.
Yeah, I think he was actually. Yeah,
I think he wrote it or he produced it or something like that.
Yeah, I forget his role in it, but yeah, not a crazy one.
Yeah.
Might be out of things. What's that top thing up there? Dragon.
That's Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla. Oh man, we can talk
my
about
spirit animal.
Godzilla. I can see it, man. I see it, bro. Godzilla's
my spirit animal, dude. I love Godzilla.
Godzilla -1, bro. I can't get over that movie.
That's masterpiece, dude.
Godzilla's one of the best.
Did you see the sequel announcement?
Oh no.
-0.
Yes.
Yeah.
No way.
It's called -0.
I cannot wait to see that.
Yeah, I'm really really excited about it. I want to go back and watch all the original Toho movies. I mean, like I've been like deep diving at Godzilla lately as far as just like the history of the movies and stuff like that. And there's like all these there's a few different eras and timelines of movies, and I just really want to go in there and watch them like how they're supposed to be watched.
I need to do that too. You know, I've not seen any of the old ones actually.
I remember watching them as a kid, but it's odd. I can't remember anything about them now.
Yeah, because I know like the 50s there was like the big one. It was a Japanese one, and then there was like one in the late 80s with Matthew Broderick. That one got a lot.
Oh, that one's the 90s.
Reception. I was never that interested at the time.
I like it. It's kind of fun. I mean, it's not like a good Godzilla movie, but it's still fun. I mean, I would watch it again. Yeah, I own it. I think. Yeah.
Right
so.
Yeah, Matthew Broderick and all that. Yeah.
But yeah, I like Godzilla.
That's cool. Man.
I love Godzilla. I've got some Godzilla figures upstairs, and I got a big poster of him in my room now. Yeah, and down here, I forgot I had that one. So. And that one's the Crow. Right there in the purple, which I've only seen the first one once, and I thought it was all right.
I've never seen it. I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah, people love that and rave that movie, but I watched it once, and I was like, I don't know, I think it's all right, but I need to watch it again. Maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace or something.
Sometimes that happens. I mean, hey, man, sometimes look at that stuff, it's like, all right, I just don't get it, you know? It's I was never that interested in going for it. Even though I hear a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah, it's iconic, I guess. And I haven't seen the new one. I know that one people hated.
Yeah. Oh man, I see something about a Knoxville Horror Film Fest there. Yeah, but then we got that, and then I guess this is the last one. I like that picture of the dogs playing pool. That made me a little nostalgic. I think there was a night I got drunk and literally like threw pool balls around or something like that. That's funny.
Everyone loves a good drunk Blake Hall moment.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man, dogs playing pool. That's just a funny picture. I like it.
I love it, dude. Yeah. Then we got your really early stuff over here. There's something down the road. Center City Passenger.
Yeah, those are. It's kind of. I think the first footing, just kind of.
It's like the late 2010s kind of talking right there.
That was 2016, 2017. Those three movies. Yeah. Yep. Just trying to figure out what this filmmaking thing was. I think that's kind of really what that was. Those movies were, but I like it. Those they all hold a very nostalgic place in my heart. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, and then who's that on that bottom there?
That is William Zabka. And he is the original, no, not the original, the true Karate Kid. No, just no, in the Karate Kid, he's the villain who like. Oh, you ever seen the Karate Kid?
I need to see. I've always heard about it.
Yeah, that is crazy. It's good. It's a good movie. Then Cobra Kai was the shit, dude. Yeah. I didn't finish it, but everything Cobra Kai did was awesome. But yeah, I met him at a convention here in Knoxville, and
I want to see it.
He was so nice, really nice guy. So but yeah, that's William Zabka. It says sweep the leg because that's what he like cheats in Karate Kid, and that's like why he's like the villain in the infamous lines and that. Yeah,
that's really cool, man. Yeah, but then a little bit of reflection. That's us hanging out there, me, you, John, Ronnie and Austin. I was reflecting a little on them, Mass Driver, and how fun. Yeah, those guys are fun guys to hang out with.
Yeah, those are good times, man. Yeah,
man.
That was a fun little history back then with Mass Driver. Yeah,
man, absolutely.
They came out with a new album like a few months ago.
Yeah, no, I've heard
very
very good.
Man.
They're awesome, dude. Yeah, still rocking, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that covers everything in here. Anything else to dig out?
I don't know. I think you pulled a lot out of me.
Yeah, we got a lot, bro.
Yeah. Hour 14.
Oh, man, well, that's twice as long as we planned. Rock on. Hey,
we were originally playing for 35 minutes.
I think that coffee took us over the top.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for sitting me down here.
Yeah,
this is the next edition of whatever this show, whatever we're doing here. But we'll find another topic for the next one to dive into as well.
Fun episode, bro. I had enjoyed that one.
Yeah, thanks, man. Anything else you want to say?
I think that caps off. I think I'm honestly capped off right
now.
All
right.
Yeah, I think that covers everything.
All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed it.
Until it hits me later on.
Yeah, right.
It's too late.
It's too late.
Yep.
All right. Well, with that said, we will see you next time.
Until next time. Take it easy.
Thank you.